I know a little bit about your story, but because you had mentioned you came from the oil field business back in the day, but what's a little bit more about you and the history and what brought you eventually to here, because we don't have oil fields here?
Yeah. Well, about 25 years ago, I was bored and was watching other people do blacksmith work, and I thought to myself, well, I've taught myself everything else, so why couldn't I do that, So I started doing a little research and bought some tools, made my own forge, ordered some coal, actually worked out of coal, and started building cowboy hardware. That's how it all began in the very beginning, was just building bits and spurs for horses. Well, that quickly turned into, can you make this, can you make that? And I'm like, sure. And then I'd go home and say, how am I going to make this? So I would just do it, and it just turned into a business. And I did that for probably a good 10 to 15 years. And then there was a downturn, so I kind of got out of that and did other things in the meantime. And in the second quarter of 2017, a contractor found me that I used to do work for and begged me to come back into the business, that he needed good help and quality stuff. So we worked out a deal, and next thing I knew, a week later, I was building things, again on the side of the house, and within 3 weeks of that, I was over here in the air park and had rented out space, and it's just kind of gone. It hasn't stopped since then. So for almost 2 years now, it's been just hammer down and go. But yeah, I did work in the oil field for about 4 or 5 years, and what that taught me was it was all about welding. It was all more structural and pressure testing and that type of thing, very specific type of welding. But I was a quality assurance, quality control regional manager, so I'd have to go around and literally inspect everything that was being done, track it, record it, build books, and welder testing, all that, x-rays, everything that's involved in oil field production, whether it's a pipeline or a plant. So that taught me a little more about, making better stuff even yet. So that's kind of where all that kind of came into play.
How'd you get from there physically to then here, locally in the valley, Phoenix, Scottsdale, metro area?
Well, I have been here my whole life, and I moved to Colorado in probably 2005, and loved it. A little cooler. And then all that began with the oil field, and was doing that type of thing. And then really what brought me back here was that, my folks are getting older, and I just didn't want to have that feeling of, I should have been there, or, didn't spend enough time with them. That whole thing was weighing on me. So we moved back in 2016, and just kind of been ever since. And then looking for properties, I couldn't find anything to rent, even in Deer Valley, and we just happened to be out here on a weekend and saw the rental sign, and the square footage was right. So that's when we called and just signed the deal and got it done. So
see lots of gates, custom gates, big and small, but outside of gates, what's some of the other stuff that you guys build custom? Like I noticed I assume you made your own sign.
Yeah, that was out of a weekend, out of boredom again. Like I want to make a sign, so I did that on a weekend and just came in. When I'm by myself, I kind of get a little more in tune with the creativity when I can just be left alone and just do it. But yeah, we've done entry door systems, with side lights, doors, we can get into all that. I can do traditional, modern, industrial designs. We've kind of been all realms. We do cable railing. We've done a lot of stainless. We can work a lot with stainless as far as that goes on the finish side. What else have we done? We've done a lot of large balconies for some of the homes up in North Scottsdale that require a specific look. Handrails, stair rails. We pretty much look at everything. If it's a structural item, I tend to kind of stay away from that because I'm not really licensed for structural. But I do have somebody that I work with, so if somebody needs it and I'm doing a job and it has some of that on there, I bring somebody in so that we can get the whole thing done and be done with it. So
a lot of people see, whether it's commercials or other advertising for some of those, like what you talked about, the vintage industrial heavy tables and other furniture, that stuff? I think you mentioned that.
Yep.
You can put that stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've worked on a few of those recently for big granite tops, these big long tables that people can't seem to find anywhere. They see a design out of wood and they'll bring it to me and say, hey, can you make this out of metal? And I'm like, sure. So
Like
a lot of times I'm working.
cranks and the wheels and the gears.
Absolutely, yep. So I have all my resources for parts. It's just a matter of what the demand is at the time. You know, we kind of go with the trends of what the requests are, but we can pretty much get into whatever's out there.
Nice. And then you've got 3 or 4 people full time?
Yep, there's 4 of us total. 2 full-timers, myself, and then I have a younger one that's part-time now, and she's still in school, but she wants to work here, wants to be full-time, so I would imagine we'll probably make her full-time here in about another month when she's out of school. So.
Nice. Well, I mean, and that speaks volumes in itself. That one, you actually take the time to mentor someone who's younger that wants to get into trades, because everyone wants to be a whatever, social media superstar,
Yep.
banker, or, you know, it's nice to see that there are some people coming into the trades, and then even that, I mean, as young as high school, and then a young lady to boot. I mean, it's almost like that trifecta of
Yeah.
the stuff you just don't see, so that's pretty cool.
Well, I've always been kind of a character guy when it comes to relationships, and I think that hiring on character is probably a better bet than somebody that's skilled to the nth degree and doesn't have character. I mean, I'm not putting anybody down. It's just I feel like I can teach somebody what I want them to do, and then they can grow from there on their own. But I can't teach character. People that don't understand urgency or respect or take pride in your work, or thinking quality from the beginning to the end. I said that's an important factor for me, because this name is everybody that's involved, so we want to make sure it's right when it goes out.
I don't know, from at least our perspective and how we try to deal with our work, it's not about the gate, it's not about the material that you're doing it for a client, it's more about like the experience. You're selling a service, and relationship is really what you're out there to create. So you can find anybody to deliver some steel.
Yep.
But you can't find anyone to create a relationship they want to come back to time and time again, or refer to their friends, or it's a longer, harder road to do that. But once you're there, we're talking about something that's potentially sustainable for a generation or two.
Yep, that's for sure.